Welcome to Dear Diaspora, a podcast celebrating the African diaspora and the change makers, innovators, and entrepreneurs working to make our world a better one to live in. I'm your host, Ndulwa Kowa. Let's get started. So before I introduce the next guest, don't forget to leave a review, subscribe, and rate on Apple Podcasts. It makes a huge difference, and one key way that it does that is people are more likely to check out an episode or two if they see that there are ratings and if they see that people are actually listening to the content and enjoying the content. And one way to show that you enjoy the content is by leaving a review. So for everyone that's left a review, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if you are listening on any other podcast listening platform, please make sure you follow the podcast so you're notified each Sunday when new episodes come out. And lastly, if you're listening on Spotify, you can actually share the podcast that you listen to on Instagram stories, just like you would a song. So if you're listening to Dear Diaspora on Spotify, you can share that in your Insta stories and I will repost. So of course, tag Dear Diaspora and I will repost, and really appreciate you spreading the word about the podcast. Happy Sunday, Dear Diaspora fam. Thank you all for tuning in to episode 29 of the show. We're almost at 30 episodes, so that's super exciting. So thank you all for tuning in every week and supporting the show. I truly appreciate it. For today's episode, this is going to be a solo episode, and I wanted to just take some time to pause and reflect on this moment. There is a lot happening, and a lot of things are changing, and the coronavirus is spreading quite rapidly here in the US specifically and other countries. And so this undoubtedly is going to change our lives for the next few weeks and the next few months. And so I thought it would be really just important to just check in on everyone first and make sure that everybody's good, and hope that you're all doing everything you can to stay safe during this time. Staying inside is super important. Working from home, if possible, is super important. Checking in on loved ones and friends when possible is super important. Staying informed is also going to be really important. So obviously you don't want to overwhelm yourself by constantly listening to coronavirus updates every hour. But it's really important to pay attention to local news, especially. Like, I live in Kansas City, and just yesterday the mayor announced a stay-at-home order, strongly encouraging folks to stay home. And it's effective starting Tuesday, March 24th through April 24th. So that's, it's a little scary, no lie. And all of this is starting to sink in, and really, it just seems a lot more real now. I think a lot of us didn't really take it as seriously, especially kind of earlier this year when we heard about it kind of spreading in China specifically, and then, Italy was next, and then now it's in the US and, other countries around the world. But yeah, so this is all just getting very real. And so I just hope that all of our collective efforts to slow the spread will end up working, and hopefully this doesn't disrupt our lives too much over the next few months, and we can get back to things as soon as possible. If you are able to, please support your local businesses. There are many businesses that I have seen pivot and offer different services and just different ways to continue to serve their customers. So that's been really encouraging to see. So if you have the chance to buy gift cards from like your local coffee shops, local restaurants, or buy their merch, or, maybe just get food delivered to you. Obviously, do that at your own risk. But there's still ways you can continue to support local businesses, because honestly, a lot of people in the service industry are going to be impacted, I would say, the most from all of this. So if there's any way you can support a local business, please do so. And same goes for nonprofits. A lot of them are continuing with their day-to-day operations, and they're trying their best to serve the community, especially around this time when a lot of people are going to be struggling financially and will need assistance with food and other basic needs. And so if there's a local nonprofit you can kind of do some research on, and see how they can benefit from your help or your dollars, please do so, because that would also make a huge difference. Also, if you are looking for very accurate and credible information and updates on the coronavirus, even though I mentioned not to overwhelm yourself earlier with, all this, all the COVID-19 updates, but I would suggest checking out The Daily. It's one of my favorite podcasts, and every day I just tune in and just kind of get a quick update on just what's happening and, any sort of new developments. I think it's really important for us to make sure that everything that we are consuming is factual and, well researched. And so let's do that, because I am seeing a lot of just false information, inaccurate information. I think there are a lot of jokes I'm sure y'all have seen on social media about the WhatsApp groups and, the aunties and the family, kind of sending these just totally false COVID-19 updates or whatever. So let's make sure that whatever we're consuming is actually accurate. So be sure to check out The Daily. I would highly recommend it. So I wanted to also provide you all with a quick update on my new gig. So for the past few weeks, I've been working remotely because I work with the Opportunity Hub. I started working with them late last month. And for those that aren't familiar with the Opportunity Hub, they are based in Atlanta, and they are the leading technology, startup entrepreneurship, and venture ecosystem building platform created to ensure that everyone, everywhere has equitable opportunity in the future of work, the fourth industrial revolution, and beyond, as a path to multi-generational wealth creation with no reliance on pre-existing multi-generational wealth. So I joined OHUB as the program manager for their campus program. And the campus program is working to equip colleges and universities and their respective administrators, faculty, and students with the exposure, knowledge, opportunities, connections, and tools to effectively launch a technology and startup ecosystem from the ground up, thereby connecting them to the global innovation, entrepreneurship, and investment economy. So that was probably a lot to take in, but I am super, super excited to be on the team. I get to work remotely with a startup led by founders of color, based in Atlanta, and OHUB actually has a partnership with the Economic Development Council of Kansas City. So that's how I initially kind of got involved with OHUB. I started volunteering with them late last fall, and over time I just kind of got more involved, and there was an opening, and obviously I applied for it because I was super excited to really join an organization that aligns so well with just everything that I want to do in the future, as far as working on the continent, making sure that entrepreneurs and young people, and just everyone really has access to opportunities to develop themselves, start businesses, develop their communities, build, generational wealth. And so I'm super excited to be a part of this movement. I am so excited about everything that I'm going to be learning, just moving forward. And I can't wait to just share everything with you all. This is a really exciting time for me professionally. And so I wanted to just share that with you all because I really, I'm just super excited and I can't wait for y'all to kind of just follow my journey with the Opportunity Hub and just with everything that I end up doing in the future. So one of the OHUB campus programs, signature programs or efforts is OHUB at South by Southwest. And so each year, major corporations, tech companies, startups, ecosystem builders, and influencers sponsor OHUB at South by Southwest and all of its programming for top Black and Latinx technical and non-technical students from HBCUs, some predominantly white institutions, Hispanic serving institutions, and tribal colleges. And so students really have an opportunity to gain the necessary immersive exposure, interactive learning opportunities, and direct access to paid summer internships and jobs in the innovation economy. And so I was really looking forward to attending South by Southwest, but as many of you know, it got canceled a few weeks back. And so that was quite the bummer. But we were able to pivot super quickly and deliver a completely virtual experience for students and the rest of the Opportunity Hub community. And so that was a really remarkable thing to be a part of because at first, when South by Southwest canceled, we said, like, okay, we have a significant amount of students in Atlanta that were going to be sponsored, and they were going to be traveling to Austin for South by Southwest. So we said, okay, the Opportunity Hub is based in Atlanta, so let's just have our programming in Atlanta and open it up to virtually to everyone, and then actually on the ground to Atlanta-based students. And so we're going to have programming at the Legacy Center and at Morehouse College, and both venues, 2 days before, after we had already gotten to Atlanta, said that they were concerned about opening up their venues to the public. And so all of our actual in-person programming was canceled, and we had no choice but to deliver a 100% virtual experience. And for those that were able to tune in, I shared it on my LinkedIn and my Instagram and Facebook, I think, on day 2, because there were 2 days of programming, and the first day was, super new to everybody, and so I was quite busy and didn't have the chance to really share much about it. But then on the second day, I tried to share it on social media. So if you were able to tune in, thank you for doing that. And it was just such a great moment. Everyone was super interactive and engaged, and it was super cool to just work on a really great team and deliver all of that virtual programming to everyone. And as a part of my work with the OHUB campus program, I will continue to be working on innovative ways to get students connected with these hiring opportunities and with these hiring partners. And so please stay tuned for kind of updates on that on some of my personal, accounts. I feel so lucky to work for an organization that is so innovative, can pivot quickly, can kind of roll with the punches, and just continue to serve who we need to serve, no matter the circumstances. And so for everyone that's had to kind of significantly shift things around, cancel events, work from home, limit travel, I totally understand your frustration or your pain. And it's just such an interesting time. And so I share that just to kind of, I guess, share more about my work and what I've been up to the past few weeks, but then also to just serve as some inspiration that, with the right mindset, we are able to really get through this and pivot if necessary. Because, a lot of us have no choice. We can't just stop. And so for everyone out there, let's just keep going. Let's keep innovating. Let's keep pivoting. And let's ask each other for help, and find ways to connect with each other. I think we all have a bit more time now, as we're just indoors and we have a lot more free time, I would say. And so reach out to others and, ask for help and see what other people are doing to kind of shift their business or shift just whatever it is that they might have been working on. So yeah, with that said, I just wanted to take a moment to share that little update with you all. And if you have any questions about my work with the Opportunity Hub now, you can always visit opportunityhub.co to learn more, or you can always DM me on Instagram or send an email to deardiasporashow@gmail.com. So for those that have a little bit more time on their hands now, first, I highly encourage you to get caught up on Dear Diaspora episodes. So we are 29 episodes in. So if you are just now learning about the show, please go back to old episodes. The podcast launched in September last year, was the official launch month. So you can go back and listen to old episodes. And one episode I also encourage you all to go back and check out is episode 21 with Jamila Souffrant. And so that episode was all about money and how to just get better and more savvy with it in 2020. And I've been seeing a lot of discussions, especially on social media, around the importance of emergency funds. And I feel like this time has certainly solidified the fact that having an emergency fund is super important, because no one really saw this coming. A lot of people didn't take it quite seriously. And now people are, losing their jobs, or, they're having to cut back their hours. Or they're just not able to really earn as much as they were able to before all this started. So if you are looking for a resource just to kind of help you get in that sort of, saving mindset, I would start by checking out episode 21, Dear Diaspora, episode 21 with Jamila Souffrant. She is the creator of Journey to Launch. So after you listen to that episode, you can also check her out. She has a ton of resources to kind of just help you take control of your money. And also, I just want to put this out there. This is not a time to really shame anybody about not having an emergency fund. I think this time just serves as a reminder to be a bit more intentional about saving, because you really just, you just never know. Things like this don't happen often, and I think we are privileged, especially those that live in the U.S., to not have to experience a lot of these, sort of pandemics or just really major shifts in our day-to-day lives. But again, this is just something super important to think about, and something that's really important to me. So be sure to check out episode 21 with Jamila Souffrant. So before I wrap up, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to my family, my mom and my brother, and a lot of my best friends that I've gotten to FaceTime with this week. I had like a Zoom little party with them on Friday, so that was super nice and different. So yeah, shout out to them, because I honestly don't know what I would be doing if it wasn't for them. And so definitely grateful for so many things. Gratitude is a must during these uncertain times. And so thank you all for tuning in. And I really hope that you all stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home. We will get through this. So be sure to check out the episode notes. I linked to a bunch of stuff that I mentioned during the episode. There's links to more information about my new job with the Opportunity Hub. Follow Dear Diaspora on Instagram. Link to that is in the show notes. And also join the Dear Diaspora Facebook community. So if you look up Dear Diaspora Fam on Facebook, you should find the group. So that is a place where I want everyone to be able to connect, network, get to know each other a bit more. So be sure to join the group, and I will be more intentional about posting and checking in on everyone, especially around this time. So be sure to do that. Check out the links in the description. Thanks for listening to Dear Diaspora. If you like what you hear, subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes. You can find us on Instagram at Dear Diaspora or visit our website at deardiasporashow.com. Thank you, and talk to you next week.